I have here everything to make the ultimate French dip sandwich, which will include tender beef, rich au jus, crispy French bread, and of course, the ultimate red wine pairing. Let's get right into it. The secret to a mind-blowing French dip is slow cooked, fall apart tender beef. We're gonna roast this low and slow to get maximum juiciness. What I did last night with this was I salted this. I salted it all over, placed it in this pan on this roasting rack, and placed it in the refrigerator uncovered and just left it to air dry. So what I'm gonna do now is this is gonna go in the oven. I've got my oven preheated to 275 degrees, and as I mentioned to you, I've already seasoned this with salt. What I'm gonna do now is I've got some garlic powder, onion powder, and some dry thyme and black pepper. I'm gonna season this a little bit more, and then I'm gonna stick this in the oven. I've got my internal probe thermometer, and what I'm looking for is 120 degrees on this, because when we pull it out, it's gonna carry over cooking. It's gonna continue to cook. So we're gonna go from about 120 degrees to somewhere medium rare, somewhere north of 130, and we're gonna go from there. So I'm gonna start with my black pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, dried thyme. Got a couple of pieces of aluminum foil. Just gonna cradle it at either end. That should hold it up. I think that'll hold it up. So again, I've got my probe thermometer, and we wanna set the internal temperature at 120 degrees. We'll get an alarm at 120, right in the center here. Okay, I've got it set at 120. This is going in the oven until we hear an alarm. Let's make the au jus. Got all of my ingredients here, and I'm gonna start with my butter. To my butter, I've got a thinly sliced onion here that I'm gonna add. Fresh garlic. I want to saute this up. I want to turn my heat down a little bit. I'm going to go slow on this. I'm going to saute these onions and garlic up until I get some caramelization on the onions. My onions are nice and soft. They've taken on some color. I've got some beef broth that I'm gonna add. Got a sprig of fresh rosemary, Worcestershire sauce, black pepper. So I'm gonna bring this to a boil, reduce it to a simmer, and I'm gonna simmer this for about 45 minutes. All right, so it's the next day. I've got the beef cooked and chilled. Now you could do all of this, you could condense everything I've given you, and you could do all of this in one day. But I think that this recipe deserves at least a couple of days. You wanna put the beef in the refrigerator and allow it to sit overnight and allow that salt to permeate the meat. And when you cook the meat, you wanna allow it ample enough time to chill so you can properly slice it. All right, so that's what I've done. Again, I said it's the next day, and what I need to do is I'm gonna get this cut so that I can make it manageable for the sandwich. Now, in order for me to make this a little bit more manageable for me to cut, I'm gonna cut this in half, and I'm gonna cut it on my mandolin. If you don't have a mandolin, that's fine. Just get you a sharp knife. You can do the same thing that I'm doing, just take your time. And if you do have a mandolin, please be careful. These things are tremendously dangerous. You can lose a finger on this thing, all right? So I've got my cut glove on underneath my glove here, because again, this is very dangerous, all right? So I'm gonna get this cut in half and get it sliced up. So as we get into slicing this meat, I wanna mention one thing to you that I forgot to mention, my au jus. So we went through the making of the au jus yesterday, and what I did today was I heated it up a little bit and I just strained it through a strainer into a small pot. I took the back of a spoon and squeezed all the solids in the strainer and made sure that I got all of the juices out of there, but that's what that is. This is the au jus, and I'm heating it up right now because we're gonna heat our meat in that au jus. So I'm gonna take this beef, cut it in half, and I wanna make sure that I got this set properly. Let's see here. It's not bad looking. Yeah, I think that's looking pretty good. It's nice and thin enough. All right, I've got the beef all cut up, nice and thin. This is gonna be perfect for the sandwiches. I'm gonna get this set to the side and we're gonna talk about the wine. To pair with my French dip sandwich, I've chosen the 2019 Quilceda Creek CVR. CVR stands for Columbia Valley Red. This wine consists of 95% Cabernet Sauvignon, 4% Merlot, and 1% Cab Franc. So CVR is Quilceda Creek's second label. Of course, the first label is their award-winning, their 100-point laden Cabernet Sauvignon. But this wine is designed to be approachable young, although they say that it's age-worthy, that you can age it for a good 10 years. Very fruit-forward on the nose. Wow, full body. Nice, wow. This is so much nicer than I remember the CVRs. So again, this is their second label, and I lean towards that Cabernet Sauvignon that they do. I'm in love with that Cabernet Sauvignon. So I have rarely had the opportunity to have the CVRs, and I've had it once before, and I don't quite remember it being this enjoyable. I'm telling you. And this wine is budget friendly as well. It's not nearly as costly as the Cabernet Sauvignon is. This is delicious. So this is a mouthful. Again, I said it's full bodied, really fruit forward. There's a little, wow, very floral. I was gonna say a little floral, but a lot of floral notes on it. Really soft and pretty in that way. Really nice glass of wine. It's doing what Cabernet Sauvignons do, and it should be a perfect pairing for this French dip sandwich. I'm ready to assemble my sandwiches. As I've mentioned to you before, my recipes are never hard, sometimes easy, but always worth the extra effort, I promise you. And I want to point out again that you don't have to worry about taking notes. The link to the recipe is always in the description below the video. So I've got my French bread here, and I'm just going to slice them in half. I want to get cheese on them and get them toasted up. I've got my Swiss cheese, And I'm gonna place it on the top bun. You definitely could go with 2 slices of cheese here, but I like to go with 3. I've got a little sheet pan with a wire rack in it. I've got my oven set to 375 degrees. 375 degrees basically mimics what a toaster oven would do for you. So I'm gonna stick this in there until I get my cheese melted and the bread nice and toasted. I'm gonna add some beef to the au jus to get it heated up so that I can add it to the sandwich. So I don't want to bring this to a boil or anything. I just want to kind of heat it through. And I'm hoping to keep a nice little pink on the meat. All right, I think the beef is heated through. I've got a strainer here, and I'm gonna place the strainer up here and catch the meat, but also I wanna catch those drippings too. All right, I'm just gonna pile it up on that bottom slice. Top it with that top slice. My French dip sandwich. I'm ready to taste my French dip sandwich. I feel like you gotta have a good pickle with a French dip sandwich as well. Just saying. That is fantastically delicious. Sounds like a commercial, huh? One more time. That beef is so tender. There are other recipes that will have you do top round. Those are fine. All of those are fine. Whatever you choose is fine. My preference is ribeye. I'm just saying. Let me see if it pairs with this wine. Oh, wow. That is so harmonious. Man. But I gotta double check. That is a perfect pairing. I'm Chef Glenn B, and as always, eat well.